Melania Trump responds to her husband being shot at on Fox News with Ainsley Earhart. This is John Mike Keene. She knows Trump in a different way than anyone else does. Really, she's probably more like his closest friend.
You know, it's interesting how quiet and everything became, all of the mainstream media. There were a few days reporting about July 13 event, and everything then became quiet. So
this is a weird response, right? What she notes is at first, everybody is commenting on the July 13th attempt on Trump when they shot his ear. And then it all went quiet. What conducted all of media to suddenly go quiet? Now, this is my own opinion, but I believe it was because people started showing compassion to Trump. Trump became a legit victim. And we've talked about this before, that being a victim is a commodity to the left. It's a transactional value to the left. It's what makes you important. It's what gives you the right to speak in all their leftist politics. You have a grievance against the world. Trump started becoming a victim. He became a martyr. He had a grievance. So the left went quiet. They had to stop talking about the assassination. They made the pictures vanish off of Google, off of Facebook. They don't allow me to post it even on these channels. It's considered taboo, too violent, too disturbing. We have to hide this.
I had a lot of questions. What's going on? This is not normal.
And did you feel that something abnormal in the air happened? And I believe we turned a corner where the left started advocating for the death of Trump. I believe they've mainstreamed it now, especially after the second attempt where they just really pushed out the ho-hum, this is nothing. And the violent imagery, the calling him an existential threat constantly in the media. It's mainstreamed on Morning Joe with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. It is mainstreamed with Kamala Harris. They can say that they're outraged, but they really say it in a very flaccid, unemotional way. Their real emotion is when they're accusing Trump of being a dictator, saying he'll never leave office, saying it's the end of democracy. He is the end of the country, the end of democracy. That's when their passion really comes out on ending Trump.
And is it really shocking that all this egregious violence goes against my husband? Especially that we hear the leaders from the opposition party and mainstream media branding him as a threat to democracy, calling him vile names. They only fueling a toxic atmosphere.
At the very beginning of that quote, where she goes, these threats, they're against my husband. She doesn't say against Donald. She doesn't say against the president. The thing that concerns her that I think is interesting is she calls him my husband. This is another part of her. The two became one flesh. This is her buddy. This is her intimate. This is her family. To Democrats, he's just a chunk of political opponent. He's just something that needs to be eradicated. And she's going, no, that's my husband.
And giving power all of these people that they want to do harm to him. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. The country needs to unite. And I encourage everybody to read my letter that I wrote on July 14 again, because that cannot continue.
And that is a statement of outrage. That cannot continue. I hate to say it, but it will continue. And that's because of the philosophical evil of the left. They will not unite the country. They're satanic in their mind, what moves their heart. Even after Trump wins this election, I do believe he will win this election, they're going to ramp up the desire to destroy him even more in any and every way they can. The leftists will do it. And by the left, I mean even the ones that are quote unquote on the right. The Liz Cheneys will ramp up their efforts. The anti-Trumpers, the never Trumpers, they will go nuts because they can't abide having him in leadership and having him duly elected by the American people. I'm John Mike Keene.